Phone Call That's All studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee, alongside former Packer Bryan Bulaga. Here's Emmy Award winner Homer.
The best 60 minutes of your day with legend Bryan Bulaga. This is the Bryan Bulaga Homer Hour. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. How you doing?
I don't know. I'm confused.
Okay. About?
Well, I don't know how to say this, but so do you think you're an NFL legend?
No.
Oh, okay.
Pretty simple answer. No, I don't.
That was I don't know how to ask that. Were you surprised when they called you that, or did they call everybody from every team a legend?
I'm fairly certain that's just what they were calling people. Now, obviously, there are some that announce picks that are a lot of gold jacket guys.
Like if you're in the NFL Hall of Fame, you're a legend.
Yes.
And then, like in the Packer Hall of Fame in Green Bay, if I was introducing you, I would call you a legend, a Packer legend, because I believe anybody in the Packer Hall of Fame is a legend, a Packer legend.
Yep.
So you're comfortable with that?
Yeah, I'm comfortable with that. I mean, I think it's just what they were calling players that announce picks. I don't know if I don't necessarily believe that I am that at all. So you don't have to feel bad about asking the question.
I do feel bad, but
no, you don't have to feel bad.
No, like there are probably a few people not in the Hall of Fame that could probably be NFL legends. But again, it's just the word that you are clearly a legend in your hometown. What is your hometown? I don't even know.
Yeah, Crystal Lake, Illinois.
Yeah, you're a legend. Yeah. You might be the most famous person ever from Crystal Lake, Illinois.
Yeah.
Okay. And you're clearly also a legend at the University of Iowa. Appropriately so. And you're a legend as a member of the Green Bay Packer Hall of Fame. So there may be other legends. There may be other areas where you are a legend too. I'm not sure.
I don't know. It's I've won 3-member guests at my golf club here. Maybe I'm a member guest legend.
That depends. I know how. You know what that depends on?
On what?
How good the guest is.
Well, it's my brother, so I mean, he's all right. He's a good player.
Now, so yes, I would say that's getting pretty close. I think when you win the club championship.
Oh yeah, I'm not good enough to do that.
Well, then I think there's a certain a legend area there. For example, a guy from Marquette, Joe True, no relation to me, has won the Blue Mound Country Club championship, I think 8 times.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Clearly, he's a legend at Blue Mound Country Club.
Correct.
Right. Now, you are also a legend in terms of introduction of draft choices for the draft, because your presentation was awesome. Let's take me through. When did you decide to thank the Detroit fans as you did? It
was when I walked out there, and instantly I started to hear the boos even when I was backstage, and Green Bay came up on the board that the pick's in. So I knew it was going to be a little rowdy. But
so were they booing you or Green Bay, do you think?
I think Green Bay to start, and then when I walked out as obviously a former player to present the pick, it got even louder. And then, as I got up to the mic and it seemed to get louder and louder, that's when I decided to thank them for such a kind welcome to Detroit. And
by the way, we can now play that for those who were not watching or listening at the time.
NFL legend Bryan Bulaga. They're not saying Bulaga, guys. They're just saying boo.
Detroit, thank you for the warm welcome.
Nicely done.
With the 45th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft.
Now, we don't have to hear that. He can. But I think we need a Discount League or Twitter poll question, because I'm not sure if they were booing. I mean, I might have said, bring it on. Let's go. Bring it on. Yeah.
Exactly.
But that's not your style. I'm a little bit over the top. Yours was perfect. Did you just off the top of your head or?
Yeah, just off the top of my head. I was thinking about what I would say out there. You don't want to talk too long or give too much.
Yes, we deserve that. We saw that with was it Darryl Green? Yeah, he's still talking, I believe. Pebble, do you have it? Is still going on, Darryl Green, and they had retired. They're retiring his number. Spectacular player. But yeah, I don't know that. Yeah, that's why I give you an A+. He gets an F.
Yeah, I look at it as this is that kid's moment. It's not my moment. I had my moment. The moment is for the kid who's on that card that I'm about to read his name. So I wanted to keep it as short and simple as I could. And then obviously what the Detroit fans were giving me, I had to play off it a little bit and go from there. So that's the way I looked at it. But I didn't want to take away from the moment for the kid. It's not worth it.
Classic Bryan Bulaga. So did you get any response from other people, friends, family? We loved it. I can see him going, you should have been tougher. You were too nice to those fans.
Yeah, when I got back to the green room, the guys all said it was fantastic. It was perfect. Everyone was like, that was the best way to handle that. That was fantastic. But everyone, I had a couple buddies that said you should have been harder on him, and
anybody suggest you give him the finger? Did anybody suggest that?
No.
All right. Okay.
That.
All right.
People were trying to tell me that when I went back out the second time, you should tell them that it wasn't even that loud in the Ford Dome or whatever they call it after the 2015 when the Hail Mary happened, or try to make a play off of that and kind of rub it in their face. But you know what? Detroit, they've suffered for a long time, and now they feel like they're the top dog in the division. So they want to give it to the team that has been the top dog in division forever, as long as they can remember. And you know what? They can have their moment. They were the NFC North champs last year. They can have their moment, but I think it could come back to reality a little bit this year. I think it could come back to reality a little bit this year. And I think what Green Bay gave them on Thanksgiving was a little bit of a reality check. And but you got to let them have their moment. It's their hometown. Literally, they're all fired up. They hate the Packers. That's great. But yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed it. It was a good time.
The number of people there was incredible.
Oh, it was crazy. When you're standing out on that stage looking out, it was like a never-ending sea of blue. It was incredible. It was literally nuts. That obviously had to be the highest attended draft. That had to beat Vegas. It had to beat.
Oh yeah.
Had to beat Kansas City. It was absolutely insane. And the setup for it, where they had it all placed in that park or whatever it was, it allowed as many people as it did. It was pretty cool. They did a great job with it.
I didn't just analyze everything. Was it just in a park, or I didn't know there was an area that big in Detroit where you could have that many people.
I guess it was some like park that they cleared out for this event, I guess. I don't really know I don't know the name of it, but.
So anything else you can tell us about that we would not be aware of because we're just watching it on TV?
Yeah. So what's really cool is when you're back there and it says like the picks normally come in like probably a pick and a half is done. And that's how delayed it is on TV to what we're hearing in the back. Like the pick is in and the guy in the pick before is still going out there because they delay
it's
it
that
much.
far in advance. See, we had somebody who was putting them out, and they were about at best 8 minutes ahead, and you would say it might even have been more than that.
Yeah,
wow.
it probably was, and I mean, it's all made for TV, obviously, right? I mean, this is a production, but you have the pick pretty far in advance, and obviously for the guys that are reading the picks in case there is a name that could be a little bit confusing, they give guys ample time to try to make sure that name is correct when they're back there. They have the people from the NFL back there. They have you read the name a few times, read the card a few times. Oh yeah, they want to make sure you get the thing right. Now, what's crazy is when I
so did you at any point go, I got it, I'm okay, I got it here? No, you just
the second time around. The second time around, it was pretty cut and dry, but. When I went back there the first time, obviously I was getting ready to go and it was crazy. Like I remember the Eagles were up and I'm looking down and I see over the lady's shoulder. And this is before I knew how delayed everything was. And I see Cooper DeJean on the card. And I'm like, the Packers just took Cooper DeJean. Like I'm about to read an Iowa guy. And then I kind of look over his shoulder a little bit more and it's the Eagles pick. I'm like, gosh, dang it. Then they walk over and tell me the Packers traded out. You can go back to the green room. We'll come get you when it's time. So that was it was kind of one of those moments where I was like, they're literally going to get Cooper DeJean, and I'm going to get the Iowa thing here, just like I practiced on the Wilde and Tau show a little bit earlier. And but yeah, it just fell through. But it was a really cool experience. It's really well done by the NFL and how the guys that they have come out and read the picks. It's really well done.
Without mentioning names, was there anybody who was nervous? Or was anybody who didn't kind of know what to do or had you fear the impossible name? That's all I would fear.
Yes. Okay. So there was a couple names that were on top of the cards and like, because they have all the names on cards, right? So they have all the names and they're all stacked in different things. They know each name's in alphabetical order and piles, so they know where to pull from really quick. And there was a couple names on top that I was looking at. I'm like, if they pick this guy, I am in massive trouble.
Yeah, you're going, please, don't take this. Don't take this guy.
I was freaking out a little bit. And, the one guy, I couldn't even think to pronounce it again because it was that wild. He was a linebacker. And after we took, my first read, I was like, okay, there's no way they take another linebacker. I'm safe. Like, it's not going to be him. So I'm good. Whoever it is, I'll be fine. But that's probably what all the guys were talking about. Because I was sitting back there with Jamal Charles and TJ Husmanzada. And that was the one thing we were all talking about. Like, if we get a name that you just can't pronounce and you butcher a kid's name on TV, like you'll never forget that. The poor kid will never live it down. So that was the one thing that we were all nervous about for sure.
How, you may have answered this, but I didn't know. How'd you get picked or what? Because you got in the Packer Hall of Fame, or did anybody explain how it worked out?
I'm not even in the Packer Hall of Fame. I haven't been retired for 5 years yet.
I know, but I mean, you're going to be in the Hall of Fame. So
I just got, when I was on the tailgate tour, I got an email from the NFL, and they asked if it'd be something I'm interested in doing, and I said yeah. So, I don't know what their criteria was, or if I was the last guy on the list and everyone else said no. It could be that, in that Clay and all of them said no, and it was me that was left. And I said yes. But send me an email, and literally I said yes, and they set up all the flights literally that day and got everything squared away.
Sounds good. You're a star now.
Oh yeah, real big star.
Yeah,
real big star.
What? How many people do you know? I mean, you're not Caitlin Clark's star, but I mean, how many people do you know that have been at the NFL draft and have introduced the selection of a player?
I mean, I don't know many.
Yeah.
No, I don't
Rest
know
of my
many.
case.
Yeah, I don't know many, but it was a cool experience. I'm glad I did it. I mean, we'll see if I do something when it's in Green Bay next year. Who knows? I would definitely do it again. It just, we'll see what Green Bay has up their sleeve next year.
Well, you got a big thumbs up. And for anybody else who does it, you, of course, need to inform them that you did the second round. You're not a fifth round, sixth round guy.
Yeah.
When they ask you, if the Packers ask you, you should say, well, my agent Homer said I don't do lower than second round. I've kind of set a standard, so that's second round
picks.
Second round or better. I mean, I'll go up to first round, but maybe third because you're the Packers. But don't even think of me doing a fifth or sixth round pick, because that's a different day as well.
Yeah.
And is the event? We're gonna have Jason. Is the event bigger than? I mean, you're there. All the play. You're experiencing. Not Thursday, because that's. But it's still, to me, really big with second and third round picks. The drop off to me is the following day.
Yeah, it's huge, man. The production's huge. Like it's pretty wild. I mean, and they really want the day two to be just as big as day one. Obviously, they have all the first round picks there, or the guys that go in the green room at the time, and obviously that's their big night. But they try to make day two just as big with bringing all the old players to read picks and things like that. So they make it like a big show, and they do a really good job with it, man. You can tell the NFL really prioritizes it. It's a big network spot for them, right? They got NFL Network going. They got ABC, ESPN all tied up with the draft. And it literally starts like the coverage starts at like 3:00. So it's big time TV for them. So they put a lot into it, and they do a really good job.
Did they ask you your proper pronunciation for your last name?
No, they did not.
I think the guy was a little iffy. Pebble, play that again.
NFL legend Bryan Bulaga.
I think Bulaga. Now, he butchered that.
Yeah, he butchered that a little bit.
Yeah,
he butchered that a little bit.
Well,
Go ahead. It was funny. They didn't spell my. I think it was ESPN or ABC's feed. They completely spelled my first name wrong and my last name wrong on the feed when I went up there, and NFL Network had it right. So ESPN completely butchered it.
Man, that's bad.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah.
Not good.
David Gruber, one call, that's all. Yeah, this is Bryan Bulaga. I just have not been the same. My self-esteem has been low. I don't think you could sell it. I could. We'll get to the draft. Jason Wilde and Bryan Bulaga, tag team, next.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on 94.5 ESPN.
We do have some backups right now. We got an accident, too, on the ramp from Layton Avenue to 94 southbound, so watch out for that. Also, one coming out of the Marquette interchange right just past 20th Street off against the median wall, so that's going to be tying things up through the Marquette, but it's going to stay heavy all the way through the stadium interchange, so just heads up on that one. Northbound on 43, backing up from before Fond du Lac Avenue all the way up to Keith. Traffic is brought to you by the Club at Lac La Belle. The historic course is open to the public 7 days a week starting this Sunday, May 5th. Schedule your tee time at clubatlaclabelle.com. And check the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight. Decreasing clouds, a low of 46 tomorrow. Mostly sunny with a chance of thunderstorms at night, a high of 68. Weather's brought to you by National Liquor Mart at 16th and National in Milwaukee, packed with the best beer, liquor, seltzer, and spirit deals in town. Open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily, where your satisfaction is their plan of action. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Hey, it's Ben Brust, and join me for a look back on one of the most memorable basketball seasons in Badger history. A banner year, the story of the 2014 Wisconsin Final Four team, featuring great conversations with Bo Ryan, Frank Kaminsky, Barstool Big Cat, Ian Eagle, and more.
It is all over. Wisconsin is headed to the Final Four.
Find it on ESPN Milwaukee's YouTube, live on 94.5 ESPN, and wherever you get your podcast.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
Take me out to the ball game, roll out the barrel, and get up, get out of here, gone. There's nothing like Milwaukee baseball. The Brew Crew is back, and we're here to help you turn your tailgate or game viewing experience into a grand slam. Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor, where since 1960 we have provided the best selection and the lowest prices. We stock literally thousands of varieties of beer, liquor, wine, and mixers. Over 15,000 actually. But who's counting? The point is, you want it, odds are we have it. Combine our incredible selection and everyday low prices with our 2 convenient locations, and you've got your one-stop shop for game day. Discount Liquor in Milwaukee on 51st in Oklahoma, only 10 minutes from AmFam Field, and in downtown Waukesha on Barstow and Maine.
Discount Liquor.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher here, and there is one thing I think everyone can agree on. Potholes stink. And this year's weather will make it one of the worst years yet. Well, Johnson & Sons Paving is ready to take on the challenge with a team that has over 2 decades of experience. When the potholes pop up in your asphalt, Johnson & Sons Paving can patch or replace the whole area. Book an appointment now at johnsonsonspaving.com. Get that appointment booked before May 31st, and you might even see Old T on the job site for a visit. Find full contest details at ESPNWisconsinContest.com.
They say seeing is believing, and when you see what's inside at American Place Casino, you better believe you're gonna love it. Because when it comes to amazing gaming, we're a real game changer. With the most exciting of table games like blackjack, craps, and roulette, the newest slots, a sports book, restaurants, bars, and more. So if you're ready for excitement, we'll see you soon. American Place Casino. Change the game.
Must be 21 years of age or older. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-426-2537.
Discover the difference at findhigherlove.com/CBD. Higher Love Cannabis Company is the only cultivator in the UP offering organic, clean, green certified products. That means quality you can trust every time. With 7 locations across the UP, including Menominee, Norway, and Ironwood, finding your Higher Love is easier than ever before. And for our friends in Green Bay, Higher Love is less than an hour away. Kindness starts with you. Experience Higher Love today. Visit findhigherlove.com/CBD and follow them on social media at Find Higher Love.
This is the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN. Jason Wilde is brought to you by Boucher Automotive, where we ride with you every mile. 18 dealerships, 15 brands, and thousands of vehicles in stock. Check them out at Boucher.com.
Everybody on the planet Earth should get information about the Green Bay Packers from Jason Wilde every day of the year. You just go Wisconsin On Demand and Wilde and Tausch, and then all the other things he does. Jason is in the process of putting together a list so you can catch all his discussions of the Packers. Right now, I defer to the partner of the tag team, Bryan Bulaga, who will be nice like no other member of this nightly show.
Jason, good evening. How you doing?
Boo! 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 It's a good thing we're not at soccer practice quite yet, because then Sid's teammates would think I was booing them. But no, it is I was so proud of you, because I was a little worried that they would pick someone with a difficult to pronounce name, and that was taken care of a few picks early. And then you get out there after they trade back, which makes you wait even longer. But you get a good name. As long as you didn't call Edgerrin Cooper, Edgerrin James, you were fine. Yep. But they got after you, and I didn't know if you were going to improvise or not, and you did to a small degree by playing to the crowd. You didn't go all Darryl Green and spend 15 minutes up there. I thought you were great, so good job, my friend.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I mean, it was a hostile crowd, but you know what? Just got to play off the energy. It was a good time, though. I enjoyed it. So, question, Jason. I mean, obviously, I'm sure you've answered this a million times, but I want to hear your answer because I didn't hear your answer. What, when you look over the class and kind of where Goody went, we obviously see a major emphasis on the safety position. What'd you take away from it? Do you think he went a little overboard with the safeties?
Well, certainly they've decided to completely remake that position, right? I mean, no Darnell Savage, no Jonathan Owens, no Rudy Ford. They've obviously decided that, they needed to do a full reset there. I know they still have an affinity for Anthony Johnson Jr., who was their 7th-round pick out of Iowa State last year. but you know this, like those guys are pretty crucial position players to play on special teams. Same with linebacker. So I think they added guys that not only can compete for the starting job opposite X, as they call Xavier McKinney, but also guys that I think they feel really good about on special teams. As a whole, you know, one of my favorite moments of covering a draft was when I said to Ted Thompson, can't remember which year it was, but I said, you know, Ted, this feels like a draft that's a lot about substance and not so much about sizzle. And I'll never forget, he said, well, I've got sizzle, Jason. And Ted, you know, R.I.P., and I love the guy. I really did enjoy covering him. But he was not about sizzle, right? Like, maybe the Clay Matthews pick was sizzle. They traded up to get him in 2009. But, you know, they drafted a guy who had a decade-plus career in the NFL and now is an outstanding member of a mediocre radio show from 5 to 6, but an outstanding show from 9 to noon when you're on with us, that you had a great career. But you weren't a sexy pick, right? I mean,
no,
even you
not
could
at all.
admit that, right? You weren't sexy.
Hold on. I disagree.
Really
I disagree. He was like 12 years old at the time. He was incredibly young to be taken.
Doesn't make it sexy.
Oh, okay.
Not sexy.
I mean,
So
I
my
understand
point
he's
is
from
that
Iowa. If he'd have been from USC, it would have been sexy.
He's not from Iowa. He's from Illinois.
No, but it means where he
went to
played
Iowa.
it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, he didn't even graduate from there, from what I understand. Somebody pointed that out a few times on the show.
Standing ovation for Jason Wilding. Sorry, I won't
Have a good
interrupt again.
practice, buddy. So my point is simply this: that I really like the Jordan Morgan pick. I'm intrigued by the Edgerrin Cooper pick. I like the Javon Bullard pick. I certainly like the Oregon and Oregon State guys, although they're causing a clothing choice dilemma for me for the locker room on Friday and Saturday. The guy that I'm really intrigued by and really curious about is the running back from USC.
Yeah.
Because I think there's again, I am not rooting against A.J. Dillon, but the contract they gave him nothing in terms of actual guaranteed money. So, you know, if this kid comes in, Lloyd, and is as good as they were pumping him up to be, I think he's going to be pushing for that number 2 job, and maybe they just move on from A.J. Dillon. We'll see if he rises to the occasion. But the one guy that I like the best, and he got a lot of attention for kind of the wrong reason, which was this idea that he is allergic to cold water, is Jacob Monk. You know, your guy in the first round, correct me if I'm wrong, Bryan, was Graham Barton. You were a Graham Barton guy.
Yep, I was.
And they had a chance to take him. They did not take him. They chose Jordan Morgan instead. But instead of taking the guy from Duke that projected to be a center, they actually took the guy who played center, right, in Monk. And so, you know, and he does seem to be kind of made of the right stuff. 2-year captain, really that kind of personality that you look for in terms of leadership. And I made this comp only because, and you and I did a charity event via Zoom with him recently, and that was Corey Linsley. Like, I just feel like this guy's got some Corey Linsley to him, more so than Josh Myers, who had Corey's number and played at the same school that Corey did. This guy feels 5th-round pick, you know, played a lot of games at Duke. I'm really intrigued to see what he is.
Yeah, I'm excited about that pick too. I'm actually excited. I mean, listen, I think it was especially in those early rounds, I think Goody got what he needed to get, right? Like, I'm all in on the offensive lineman, the tackle. I think if he would have gone with Barton, I would have been great with it, because I think Barton can play multiple positions. Obviously, I don't know much about Morgan. You know what I mean? Like, I can't speak too soon. I don't know much about him. He played a lot of ball at left tackle, so you got to give him that. Love the linebacker. Love the safety pick. I think it's all good. And the center pick, to me, is a little outlier, right? Because they like, you know, centers in those later rounds, and they normally hit on them, which is a good sign for them, because you look for a smart guy, you look for a leader, and that's kind of what, you know, he fits the bill and all those things. And obviously we'll see how he performs, right? but he has a year to learn, which is a good thing. He has a year to learn and understand the offense and get it down. So I'm excited about it. I guess, Jason, the only thing that, that kind of caught me off guard a little bit, which maybe it didn't catch you off guard, was no cornerback addressed. And I obviously heard the LaFleur interview saying that Stokes has been great. He's healthy. He's this, he's that. But we didn't address any depth on it. I mean, so are they putting all their eggs in the Stokes basket that hasn't really been there for the last 2 years, if we look at it as a whole? Yeah,
I totally agree with you, which you and I do way too much. If we ever are doing frequent shows together, when Tausch takes all that vacation, people who listen know we agree a lot. But I thought they would augment their defensive line, and I thought that they would augment corner, and they really didn't do either one. Now, I will say this: if you were going to take a 7th-round corner, I like the idea of taking a guy that after his sophomore season looked like he was going to be a 1st-round pick and had a bad junior year, and you may have stolen him. They're not just putting and I think there's something called a Stokes basket. I think like firefighters or rescue workers use something called a Stokes basket. So Pebble, fact check me on that. But what I think is interesting is that even if Stokes continues to have injury issues, and even if Jair Alexander becomes disenfranchised again, I think that they have a higher opinion of the law firm of Ballantyne and Valentine than I probably do, and maybe other people do. I think they think that those guys are both like legit. And look, to be fair, like Ballantyne, he's kind of the journeyman guy, right? He went 2 years without starting a game, and then he suddenly became a starter for a good chunk of last season. And then a 7th-round pick who starts 14 games, including 2 playoff games like Valentine. I mean, those are – talk about outliers. But I think they feel really good about them. And then if King comes in and doesn't play like his long-lost relative Kevin King, I think they'll be, pleasantly surprised with him. But I still don't think they're deep enough there. I don't. And Eric Stokes is such a bubbly, effervescent personality. I know everybody in that locker room is pulling for him. Yep. But I don't have any evidence of him being capable of staying healthy. I mean, the deadline is here for the 5th-year option, and I mean, it's like almost $13 million for the corner position. There's no way in God's green earth he's getting it. So, you hope he does maybe what Nick Perry did, who didn't get the 5th-year option and then balled out in that 4th season and got a big payday out of the deal and then reverted back to not being all that good. But you would hope that he can have a healthy, productive season, and then suddenly you feel really good about your corner group. But I agree with you that I do not – he has to show me that he can stay healthy at this point. And I don't know if he will.
I guess my question with not just the health, right? Like, and listen, I want everyone to perform as good as they possibly can. But when he was healthy, did we see that great of performances? I guess is my question, right? Like, no, I get the listen. No, I'm a guy that struggled with health. I understand that. Like, I get it's what happens to guys. Like, guys get nicked up, guys get hurt. It sucks. It's hard to deal with it. I understand it more than anybody, and I feel bad for guys. But my thing is, when you're on the field, how does it look? And to me, I guess, I mean, maybe I don't know what I'm watching, but I don't know if I've seen 1st-round corner production, I guess is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, no. So Tausch and I vehemently kind of disagreed on him his first year. Like, I didn't think he was that good. Yeah. And he was Tausch talked about how he was down the stretch, and and look, in 2021, which was his rookie year, they're the number 1 seed and all that good stuff. We weren't killing Joe Barry just yet at that point. But I didn't think he was that good as a rookie. Like, I didn't think he was like, oh my gosh, this guy's going to be a starting corner for the next decade here. And there were some that were really impressed by him. I think because of his speed, and I think there were a few plays where he got beat and then recovered, and it really kind of got people's attention, right? The recovery speed that he had. But to have recovery speed or to show off recovery speed, you got to get beat first, right?
Yep.
And so I'm not willing to say, because of the foot injury in Detroit in November of 2022 and then all the hamstring issues he had once he came off of PUP this year, like, I still don't think we've seen for sure what he is one way or the other. But I definitely don't think we have enough evidence to say when he's healthy, he's going to be a stud. I just don't. And look, I don't want to be, because I know that my job, which makes people mad on social media at times, is to kind of put my thumb on the scale, right? If there's a level of crazy negativity on one side, then I push down on the other side a little bit and say, hey, come on now. Here are 3 reasons why maybe things are going to be okay, right? Yep. And then when things are sky high, I'm putting my thumb on the, well, now wait a minute now, side of the scale. And in the Stokes case, I don't think there's any denying we're on the same page. Here's my thing about Jair. I don't want to put I know both Goody and LaFleur talked about how great he's been and how they're better for everything they went through last year. Would he be here if he didn't have a $700,000 workout bonus? Like, is he that happy now? Like, I'm sorry. Like, if that bonus wasn't there to work out and he was still here for the entire offseason program, I would be more willing to buy the idea that he has come around and everything turned out hunky-dory because of last year. And maybe it has. Just because he's practicing and because he has that workout bonus doesn't mean he's not happy. But after what happened last year, I need to see from him that he's all bought in, that the new system will rejuvenate him, and I think it will. I am a Jair Alexander fan. He and I have a great relationship. I really like him, but I also know because of that relationship that he was miserable last year. He didn't like the defensive coordinator. He obviously had the injury issues. He didn't like not being a captain. The previous year, if you remember that, it caused all that drama. So LaFleur did away with season-long captains last season. All that stuff was legit, and he wasn't a happy camper. So,
Jason, what bothered him the most?
Turned the corner, great.
Of all that, what bothered him the most?
I think Barry.
Okay.
I mean, there were a bunch of guys that just didn't like playing in that system. They're just and everything we've heard sounds like they're going to like this system better. We'll see. We haven't. I've talked to Jeff Hafley once, so I just don't know, and I haven't seen anything on the field yet. But all the indications are that these guys are excited about the defense they're going to be playing in.
Thanks, Jason.
All right, guys, take care. Be good. Boo!
It's fun. It's fun.
Yeah. You were good. You handled it perfectly.
Yeah.
Back to just Bryan Bulaga next.
Northbound on 43. We are backing up from Fond du Lac Avenue all the way up to Keefe. We've got westbound 94 with an accident right about at 20th Street on the left shoulder. It's going to be tight past that all the way to Mitchell Boulevard, though. Eastbound has a heavy pocket coming in from 84th Street all the way to about Hawley Road. Traffic is brought to you by Fifth Third Bank. Custom solutions built around your goals. Member FDIC. And check the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight. Decreasing clouds, a low of 46. Tomorrow, mostly sunny with a chance of thunderstorms at night, high of 68. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Eagle Sports Range has an unbeatable offer on concealed carry license classes. For just $49, enroll in their 3-hour class led by expert instructors prioritizing safety. Learn laws, techniques, and mindset for responsible carrying. Stick around for an optional hour of range time with instructors included in the package. Practice under professional guidance and gain confidence. Open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. every day at 2525 East Layton Avenue in Cudahy. Secure your spot at eaglesportsrange.com. Eagle Sports Range, where safety meets skill.
Here in Wisconsin, one name is synonymous with fantastic frozen pizza, Palermo's. For almost 60 years, Palermo's has focused on feeding Wisconsin families. And though Palermo's has grown a lot since 1964, they're still family-owned. They're still proud to call Milwaukee home. And they're still committed to making the best frozen pizza possible. From their new and improved rising crust pizzas to their guilt-free Primo thin pies, Palermo's has a delicious slice for every appetite. Find Palermo's in your local grocer's freezer food aisle. Palermo's, flavor is our family's business.
It started with a prediction.
Gonna go out there and play basketball and win. And how many games? 6.
It became the culture.
Chance of Bucks in 6.
Being a Bucks fan means you live and breathe Bucks in 6. Brandon Jennings created the prophecy. Tune into Behind the Bucks, the story of Brandon Jennings on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and streaming wherever you get your podcasts.
That's for the culture.
Spring into massive April savings with the Midwest #1 automotive leader at your nearby Milwaukee Metro Region Cunis Auto Group dealership. Get incredible spring cleaning sale pricing on America's best-selling brands from both Buick and GMC at nearby Cunis locations in Greenfield and Oak Creek. Your April savings will blossom with incredible spring cleaning savings and discounts on our entire inventory of new and pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs. At Cunis, we make it easy to find the vehicle of your needs, always at a price and payment that you can afford. Spring is the perfect time to refresh your ride. We're paying top Kelly Blue Book values on your trade, no matter what the mileage or condition. The weather is warming and the deals are getting hot at your Cunis Auto Group dealerships, the Midwest #1 automotive leaders. Spring is the season for savings, exclusively at your local Milwaukee Metro Region Cunis Auto Group dealerships, or shop online at shopcunis.com.
Hey, this is Brad Nortman, here to tell you about my friends at Bank 5-9. Everywhere I go throughout the area, I see Bank 5-9, and it's no wonder why. Not only do they have 14 branch locations, but their employees spend nearly 9,000 hours each year volunteering in the communities that they serve. That's on top of the financial support that they provide to several hundred nonprofits right here in southeastern Wisconsin. If you're looking for a true local community bank, check them out today at bank59.com. Member FDIC.
You're listening to the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
Yes, you go to Fisco to please yourself, because now you got an auto body place forever, but then you think you go there to improve my reputation, because people that go there and listen to me, they love it, and then they're impressed. Wow, Homer, way to go. I'm just surprised they're surprised. I wouldn't tell you to go there unless it was that good. Fisco Auto Body on Forest Home in Franklin, Yep, family business, owned since 1931. It's not what they do, it's who they are. Figure that out. How? At what age do they start doing this stuff? 1, 2, by the time they're doing it for you, they're multi-year vets. That's why they're so good. Fisco Auto Body on Forest Home in Franklin. You'll thank them and you'll thank me. I like that part. Fisco, to remember the name. The NFL Draft. Brian Bulaga's hour. I just put up the Discount Liquor Twitter poll question for the Green Bay Packers in the upcoming season, 2024. What is more important, Xavier McKinney or all of the draft choices? I vote Xavier McKinney, not for multiple seasons, for the upcoming season. He is more important than all the draft choices combined. You want to join my club or not?
Yeah, I do. Because, I look at the draft class. While I think we did get some good players, I don't know if I see – now, obviously, I could be wrong. I don't know if I see an immediate impact starter right off the get. Right now, I think we're going to see guys that do play roles that obviously get into certain situational football. They're going to be on the field. Obviously, I think, Cooper, the linebacker, I think he's going to get a lot of play time. But I think McKinney is key. He is key to this defense. So I will agree with you that he is probably more important than every draft pick. Yes.
All right. I said all the draft picks combined as well.
Okay.
Yeah. But here's what leading to this. All right. Top Green Bay players. in the 2024 season. Who's number 1? Jordan Love?
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
All right, now, who's number 2?
Who plays the best or who?
No, top players, like,
I think I'll go Jair.
All right.
Jair.
All right, number 3.
And then I'll go McKinney.
Yeah, this is we don't have to go any further. That's how high whatever you want to make a list. Everybody makes a list. He's going to be guaranteed top 5, maybe as high as number 2.
Hey, when you're one of the highest paid guys in the team, there's a lot expected of you, and that's just the way it goes, right? I mean, it goes without being said. When you're one of the big dogs on the team, everyone has that expectations for you. So, yeah, I mean, he's going to be on everyone's list, and you know what? Like
he should be.
Yeah, and this defense, a lot is built in around him and his skill set in the back end, and same with Jair. So, like. The defense, I mean, there's schemes up front and rushing the passer, and that's all good. But the scheme itself is built around the secondary and what those guys on the back end can do. So, to me, that back end is huge. And McKinney, obviously, and what I think Jair are huge parts of it.
To me, the draft is always about your belief in the general manager. You either believe in him and you don't. And everybody, myself included, believes in Goody more this year than maybe before a couple of years ago. And so, how's the draft? Better. Why? Because I think he's better.
Yep. So what pick did you like the best? Which one did stand out to you that you're like, you know what? I think
I don't watch image tape, but I did on Twitter. Some people put up the stuff of Marshawn Lloyd of USC.
Yep.
I couldn't believe they I got to get he's only like 220. And they kind of talk to him like a bulldog. I watched the highlights and he's incredibly good, running by people all the time.
Yeah.
I thought this kid is, but again, can you make a tape like that for anyone? I don't know. I was wowed by his speed in the open field.
Yeah, I think he has the chance to be really good.
Yeah.
And, he proclaimed himself to be the best running back in the draft. He said it, and I'm hoping we get to see it. Obviously, every player believes they're the best player in the draft, but he proclaimed it, and you watch him on film, he's explosive.
Yeah,
he's explosive, and I think he's going to have a big role to play. And Jason hit it on the head, right? With A.J. Dillon and this kid. Like, if this kid is what everyone expects
A.J. Dillon's not playing.
Yeah.
I thought anybody who compares him to A.J. Dillon didn't watch any highlights.
No.
He can crawl as fast as A.J. Dillon can run.
And you know what this is? This is Goody, right? We move on from Aaron Jones, who's a little more of that lightning, signs Jacobs, who's the thunder, and drafts this kid who is the lightning again.
Yeah.
And that's kind of because you can't have two thunderbacks. It just doesn't work. Like, you can't have two thunderbacks. You got to get a running back that can move and can scoot and can do different things. And I think this kid does.
Yeah, I don't know how well he can break tackles. Somebody's got to put some tape up where someone was close enough to make a tackle. Fourth quarter with Bryan Bulaga, the Packer legend, the Iowa legend, the hometown legend, and now the draft introductor legend. Next.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on 94.5 ESPN. Football Guy.
Good morning, Tausch. How are you?
Football Guy.
Old T's I'm not feeling 100%.
Coming at it from different views.
No, just I think with all that little stuff that's going around and the long trip back from the loo, I'm going to grind.
Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Also sponsored by Coors Light. Weekdays 9 to noon on 94.5 ESPN. And available wherever you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand.
All Brewers games are on sale now. Coming up, a divisional battle with the Cardinals Thursday, May 9th through Sunday the 12th. Make your Saturday night plans for Star Wars night. Then take home a Mother's Day Brewers belt bag giveaway at the game on Sunday the 12th. Presented by American Family Insurance. Don't miss out on a weekend of rivalry baseball. Grab your seats at brewers.com/tickets.
Hi, it's John Reitz from Great Midwest Bank, and as a community bank, we sincerely appreciate our customer loyalty. Over nearly 90 years, we've done all we can to return the favor. Great Midwest Bank offers flexible solutions that bigger banks and credit unions simply can't, because our entire team is right here in the community. We love helping our neighbors when we're at work and then catching up over the weekend. Visit us at greatmidwestbank.com. Great Midwest Bank, your simply local equal housing lender.
An ESPN Radio Extra Point with Evan Cohen, Chris Canty, and Michelle Smallman.
It's over. I was wrong about this. I thought the Sixers were going to have a run this postseason. It's over. This franchise allowed a losing culture to permeate the entire franchise for too long with the process. This is the ultimate argument against tanking because they tanked for so long, and Embiid was the result of the process. And I still think he doesn't understand the winning culture, winning environment, and what you're supposed to do in that winning environment, as proven by they've never won. Their big move is to go out there and get Daryl Morey, who is most known for complaining to the league, coming up with creative trades and moves, but never actually putting his team over the top. This is not a well-run franchise anymore. It's just not. And I think it's over. I think it's absolutely over. I think Embiid's days in Philadelphia should be done.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
At Lowe's, save big every day when you buy in bulk. Save 10% on your choice of any 3 or more A.O. Smith water heaters. Plus, get an extra 5% off every day on eligible purchases when you use your Lowe's business credit card. Get low prices on the materials you need today because Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location. While supplies last, discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details. 5% offer subject to credit approval. Exclusions and terms apply. See store at lowes.com/credit for details. U.S. only.
A season of award-winning golf at Sweetgrass and Sage Run is on the horizon. The Island Resort and Casino stay-and-play golf packages are booking fast, with choice dates available early in the week. After your rounds, visit the Drift Spa for a relaxing or targeted massage session. And enjoy dinner at Horizon's scenic top-floor steakhouse. So many reasons to take a drive. Book your stay-and-play golf package today. Visit islandresortgolf.com.
Welcome back to the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
The Bryan Bulaga Homer Hour. He doesn't do anything below second round. When the Packers ask you to do a introduction when it's in Green Bay, tell them to call your agent. You won't have me as your agent. Tell them to call your whatever I am, so I can say to him, Bryan Bulaga does nothing lower than the second round. You wouldn't want to say that. You're too nice, right?
I am. I'm too nice, but I'll tell you what, it was a heck of an honor to be able to say the second round picks. I will say that. It is a heck of an honor.
And now you have info about the draft that most people never. I mean, behind the scenes stuff is so different. For example, the first thing which you stated that everybody should know, maybe they didn't tell you not to say it, but how many minutes they know the pick before it's announced. And you said 10, 15?
It is probably at the minimum 7 to 8 minutes.
Right. And now that we know that, they should make it clear to anybody who releases this early, they're sending the CIA and the FBI after him. I mean, they can't.
It was wild because, I didn't think, that's the way it went. And it literally, it was crazy to see it all play out back in that green room. Not even in the green room, in the production room off stage is where it all goes down. That's where everything happens in that room. And it's wild to see how it all gets done. And yeah, I mean, when you see the pick is in, the pick's been in. The pick has been in for a while. Let's put it that way.
I like that. The pick's been in. All right, I did have this comment the night of the first round, and I said everybody better work on what they're going to say because Graham Barton will be better than Jordan Morgan every day of their 2 NFL careers. So come up. You're going to have to come up with an answer because it's going to be said for every day for a decade. Why didn't the Packers take Graham Barton instead? He's better. He's better today. He's better on every day ending in Y. And I believe that's going to be the case. And I guess the answer is Goody wanted a tackle, right?
Yeah, he wanted a through and through tackle.
Right.
You know,
okay.
he didn't want. I mean, I just have to assume because obviously I thought Barton was and is a great pick, right? And Goody must have just wanted the through and through tackle, and he didn't.
Yeah, because Barton played tackle in college, but that we all should know that doesn't necessarily depend or determine what position you view it like. Though Goody does and has always liked to take only players that played tackle in college. They can play other stuff as well. I think Josh Myers might have been the only one he's ever taken that played no tackle in college or something like that.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. I mean, it's. Because I don't think I see Morgan as a guy that's going to kick inside. I just don't think he is like I when you watch him play and you watch his tape and you see the way he moves, he's just not an interior guy. He is a tackle, and that's obviously no knock. I mean, that's all I was a tackle. But you just kind of look at it and think, you know, from what the needs are for the Packers, like they need a guy that can add depth to all these positions potentially, right? Like a guy that can play center, a guy that can play guard, and play tackle. I know maybe that's not the guy you're looking for in the first round, but Barton as a rookie could maybe do all that, and he can learn these positions where I think Morgan is a tackle. I mean, LaFleur said it. I think Goody said it. He's a tackle, and he's going to play tackle. And that makes me then look at, okay, if he's playing tackle and only tackle, who's going to be the depth at these guard positions?
And the other comment I had is Kansas City taking Xavier Worthy. That's going to be talked about for years.
Yeah, Buffalo getting out of that spot so that they can come in and take him. Yeah.
I mean, if he has a chance to be as good as he can be, there's no better place than Kansas City with Mahomes.
That's right.
Just run as fast as you can. I'll get it there.
Tyreek. They got another Tyreek.
Yeah, and everybody's going to, years go like, how did they get it? How did they work out? Well, I don't know that other teams should take somebody because they don't want Kansas City to get him because I think he fits better there than any other place. But I think those are the two comments that, and of course, also be addressing the Bears who, if they screw this up, no one can blame the Bears because they didn't do anything that just about everybody else would have done.
Yep.
There's no Mitch Trubisky in those two picks. So, all right,
I agree.
Legend, great talking to you.
All right, have a good one.
You're a legend on this show. I can tell you that. We'll make a list of all the things that Bryan Bulaga is a legend. And next, the toughest job in the world, Zora Stevenson on Bucks at 6.
Likes to laugh, likes to have fun, and
We got to back up on westbound 94.